Hello, this is Renwar 2005 with WoW TCG Talks. This is a new YouTube channel designed to encourage and help new players coming into the World of Warcraft trading card game. Now, the World of Warcraft trading card game, or WoW TCG, is no longer in print. It was actually discontinued in August of 2013, but this game is doing very well. Still to this day, still have quite a bit of players that they still play tournaments at Gen Con, and there's a thriving online group of players that still play through Tabletop Simulator. If this interests you, I highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel and make sure you follow us because we live stream our PvP and our raid night events each week. Raid nights typically are on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our PvP matches are more sporadic. We have a ladder system to where you can challenge people and move up. So we're going to cover in this first video. I'm going to try to make it short. We're going to cover in this first video one of the main questions that we get asked with new players coming in. Most players that want to play WoW TCG have card game experience either with Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Pokemon, and so they're not unversed on how to play a game like WoW TCG, but what really brings them in is they want to know how to raid. They typically have raided on the World of Warcraft online game, and they want that same experience of camaraderie with players in this card game. And that's great. That's the majority of the new players that are coming into the World of Warcraft TCG are people who are interested in playing with other people in a co-op setting against a raid. So the questions that come up are players are getting overwhelmed or just beat down by raids, and they don't see how it's possible to defeat them. Now, obviously, experienced players that have done raiding know what it takes, but oftentimes the new players come in with their friends, and they get this raid and they just get destroyed. And it's really discouraging, and they were hoping for this great cooperative experience, and it just feels like it's impossible. So just like in the online game, in the World of Warcraft TCG, group makeup is important. It's important to have someone who can do damage, who can heal, potentially who can tank or control in this game. Tank and control is kind of interchangeable in this game. So we're going to cover probably the most important group role, the healer. If you don't have a dedicated healer, you're not going to be successful in raiding, especially in the gauntlets like Molten Core, Naxxramas, and Black Temple, and even Caverns of Time. If you don't have a healer, you're not going to win. So we're going to cover, this is a healer that is widely played in our raid nights. It's a very solid healer, and there are very few healers out there that are as good as this deck that I have seen. So we're going to cover on how it works. The deck list, if you just want the deck list, is in the description below the video. You can create deck lists on TCG Browser as well. But let's get into the meat of this thing. So this is our healer, Auralyn, the Light of Dawn. She costs 4 to flip, and she gives min 2. Now, some of these cards have good resolution, and some of them don't. Okay, it's just part of the system loading cards onto Tabletop Simulator. We're going to cover the allies in the deck first. So Rufus Claybourne, he gives Aberration, and Aberration allows this character to not take non-combat damage. He prevents all non-combat damage. Well, with him in particular, when this ally enters play, target hero or ally has Aberration and becomes a Worgen this turn. So let's say your buddy over there is playing a DPS class, and the raid is throwing 15 damage at him. Like Deathwing's throwing 15 fire damage at him. You can Rufus instantly, turn him into Worgen, and then he will have Aberration for that turn, making him prevent the non-combat damage that he would take. The other one is Khadgar. Now, at first, Khadgar is going to be hard to understand because we haven't hit the cards yet on how he works, but we will come back to him in a second. Just be aware that he reduces the cost of your abilities to a minimum of 1. And when you play an ability, you can re-ready him. So once he swings, you play a card, an ability card, you can re-ready him and swing again. Master Hero is in this class. We use Kalecgos. You pay 3 less to play Kalecgos for each ability you play this turn. When you play a non-ongoing ability, you copy it. So if you're going to play a heal, most heals are non-ongoing. So when he's in play, and let's say you do Holy Light, you're actually going to play 1 heal, and then it will copy into a second heal, and you can heal twice. Probably the most important equipment you have is the Hammer of Atonement. It's hard to read the text, but I will read it to you. If your hero would heal damage, it heals double that much instead, so it doubles the power of your healing. While your hero is undamaged, you can pay 4 and exhaust this mace. Put a 4/4 Guardian Spirit token into play with Protector. Antonidas, Aegis of Rapt, Concentration. Your ability cards can't be interrupted. Your abilities are untargetable. Now this becomes important for later because you will have some ongoing abilities that you want to be untargetable. Alright, so let's get into the heals. There's only 16 heals in this 60 card deck, and the first one is Infusion of Light. And it heals 3 damage. You can heal a hero or ally, and it lets you draw a card. Now what's really cool with this deck is every single heal that you play allows you to draw a card. So that way your hand can stay full. Second heal is Holy Light. Instead of 3, it heals 5, draw a card. Inspiring Light, heal 8, draw a card. And Boon of Light, heal 12, draw a card. Now we're going to get into the control aspects of the card. So whenever you're raiding, one of the main things the raid will do is it plays ongoing abilities, or it attaches ongoing abilities to your friendly heroes. So as a healer, it is your responsibility to dispel those abilities because they're very detrimental to your raid group. There's even ones that won't even allow you to heal, especially from Black Temple. So if you aren't able to heal, your role is nullified and you're worthless to your group. So you have to be able to dispel. So this one, Sacred Purification, destroy target ability. If it was attached to a friendly hero ally, draw a card. Righteous Cleanse is your other dispel, destroy target ability, and you may delve. Now this card becomes important. It's called Shelter. This turn, target non-hero card can't be destroyed. If it's an ally, prevent all damage that it would be dealt to, or be dealt to it. So that becomes important. Raids will oftentimes try to destroy your abilities. They'll either do an outright destruction to everyone's board, or they'll do a single target destruction on an ability or an equipment, or even an ally. So Shelter becomes important. So let's say the raid is going to say destroy target ally on Khadgar, and you don't want to lose Khadgar. Well, then you can play Shelter to protect Khadgar. You would prevent the damage. If it's a destroy ability like Illumination, which we'll talk in a second, Illumination is your most important card. You need to shelter that card so you don't lose it. So those are ways that you can use Shelter to keep your abilities safe from destruction. Concentration Aura is an instant ability. Your ability cards are instant and can't be interrupted. So it's important to notice that none of your heals are instant casts. There are certain cards like Rufus that are instant, and the Aegis is also instant. And a few of your controls, like Righteous Cleanse. So whenever you play Concentration Aura, oftentimes you don't know what the raid is going to do to your party. So it's good to have Concentration Aura out, not only because you can't be interrupted, but the fact that you can wait until your opponent's turn to play cards. So you can see what your opponent's going to do and be able to react to it. Divine Shield, just like the bubble in the online game, or the World of Warcraft online game. Destroy any number of abilities attached to your hero. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to your hero this turn. Your hero can't be targeted by opponents this turn. So this is an effective card for you because oftentimes the raid will target the healer because you're not necessarily the most dangerous character on the field, but you're the reason why the DPS is staying alive. So they know in a long match, if they can take you out, they can take everyone else out. So bubble becomes important to protect yourself. Now the most important card in your deck is Illumination. When your hero, it's ongoing, when your hero heals damage with an ability from a friendly hero or ally, you may ready up to X of your resources, where X is that ability's cost. So let's assume you have Illumination in the field of play, and it's turn 6. Okay, you want to play Boon of Light. You've got a friend that's got 10 damage on it. You want to heal him up to full. So you play Boon of Light. It costs you 5 of the 6. You've only got 1 resource left. But since the heal goes through and it heals your target, Illumination will trigger. And then you would re-ready 5 resources because 5 was the cost of Boon of Light. So effectively, it makes your heals mana free or resource free. And then since the heal is allowing you to draw a card, you can continue to play cards that are heals if you need to keep healing. What that can do for you is if you're having to do a lot of healing on your turn or your opponent's, you're not wasting resources. And then you can use your control cards to respond to whatever the raid boss is going to try to do next. Your heals aren't going to cost you that precious resources that you may need to respond to help your party members. Some quick quest. Blueleaf Tubers is an important quest. You definitely want to see it in your game. The reason being is out of 60 cards, you only have 16 heals. Okay? If you run through half of your heals, it's a good idea to reshuffle your graveyard into your deck, so you can start your heal process over again. Forces of Jaedenar, if you've played an ability this turn, you can pay 1 to complete the quest, draw a card. Apply this twice a day, pay 3, draw a card. If your hero or if a hero or ally you controlled healed damage this turn, draw another card. So it's a 3 cost, draw 2. And Question of Gluttony is probably the most famous quest in the WoW TCG. It's very popular. Even an old podcast back in the day was named Question of Gluttony Podcast. But you pay 1 less to complete this quest for each card in your hand. Pay 7 to complete this quest, draw a card. So if you started your turn, draw a card, you play Question of Gluttony as your resource, you have 7 cards in hand, it costs you nothing to draw a card. You flip it, complete it for free. That is the most effective healer that I've seen for raiding. I am sure there's other variations of healers that are just as good or if not better. But if you're looking to get a good start on raiding, having a strong healer is a good place to start. So if you're one of those guys that has a group of players that plays just with a small group and y'all want to start raiding, copy this deck, make some proxies out of it, play with this Holy Paladin, and see how you do with your other guys. I can almost guarantee you with what I've explained here that you will do well. All right. See you next time. Be sure to subscribe and check your description below because I've added ways in for you to connect with the online WoW community. I hope to see you soon.